the umpire this season, the next game.
Russian. Yeah, he does reserves and seniors a lot. Oh no, I actually don't think he is. Bo and Marek, the two umpires today, so. Weather is closing in, I think.
Comes a matriarch. Good afternoon. How are you?
What are you up to?
We're commentating this afternoon. Are you the official matriarch of the Goodwood Saints Footy Club?
I think I'm
I think you look like you are. That girl, nice to meet you.
Oh, pleased to meet you.
Yeah. What was your name, sorry?
Barbara Shepperson.
Nice to meet you, Barbara. Yeah. Please stay dry this afternoon. We might have a little shower shortly.
I'm sitting underneath the opposition's shelter, I think.
Okay. As long as they've got a spot for you, that's the main thing. Lovely.
Still the black screen.
Yeah, Ben's been here all day.
Okay.
Ben Charles on.
Yeah, we will.
And,
Sounds on, so just so you know. Sounds on, but the screen's so I'm just gonna wait. Come on, everybody.
Did you say how many did the team manage? How many did you kick? I lost it. What, you got a good team today?
So sounds on, but there's no picture. You want to go anyway, or wait for the picture?
Oh, really?
Nah, wait.
Yeah.
I'm still not 100%.
I know.
So I might have to swap my camera.
How long does that take?
No, I meant like between.
Yeah, maybe. That's right. That's what it sounds like. Who presses the button? Who does the button to get the... Because all the other ones are on, so... Oh, that's not on yet. go?
Can't go with that picture. Leave that to the very end. I didn't see who won the toss either. 90 seconds. 90 seconds there, Harold. We some magic, mate.
Message who does it? Okay. Let's see how we go.
I don't have any.
Clayton Simon's in short sleeves. Goodness. Never thought I'd say that.
Do you remember his dad playing? He'd be too young.
Who's his dad? No, I don't. For who?
Cornell,
No.
same number. Same
Morgan's
frame.
last game as well in the 22
What's he
today.
doing?
Off to London, I think. I had a look at their Facebook page last night. He's been quite good for them this year. Ex Woodville West Torrens. Good afternoon, welcome to a cloudy Sacred Heart Middle School Oval for this Division 1 clash. An important one for both sides. Sacred Heart look to continue momentum from previous to the bye and off a loss to Glenunga last week. Goody Saints, on the other hand, 2 of their last 3. And the other one, well, could have been a win against Port District on a wet and windy day down at Largs Reserve. Jack Moore with you on the Filming Footy stream alongside me, Matt Gale.
Good afternoon, all the viewers around Australia and across the world. Fantastic to be here at the Sacred Heart Middle School this afternoon for this Programs to Fit round 10 clash. And before we go any further, just check out our major sponsor for today in the Programs to Fit. A big thank you to Tony Neal and the efforts that he plays and his support on a weekly basis. So Jack, before we get underway, I've just been out the ground a little bit earlier. She's the capability of an absolute mud pit out there this afternoon.
It is, and currently it's clear overhead, but the cloudy skies are moving in, so it's going to be a test for both sides to adjust to these conditions quicker. And the ground looks like a bit of a mud heap all around in all aspects. But back to our sponsors.
Yeah, Programs to Fit presents a large suite of topics with a focus on important components of preparation, performance and recovery, as well as mental application, mental fitness and your physical and nutritional needs. We've got a current forecast of about 15 degrees. The current temperature is 14.1, 26 degrees southwesterly and a low chance of rain. So we've already had that 25% chance. It looks like we're going to get some.
That's it. Our other sponsors, of course, include Sportal on our scoreboard. We'll refer to them during the day. Dartfish, Play the Game, wins a beanie from Dartfish and bongs from our major sponsor Archie's, and Farmers Leap Winery at Padthaway, our Coach of the Week award on the Between the Posts.
Also Archie's thongs, if you haven't worn them, get yourself a pair. They'll give you a massage as you're trotting around. Roll the Dice, the Meter Player of the Year, which is a 5% share in a horse valued at 7.5 grand. Minimum. That horse is currently in training, maybe a little slight chance for a spring carnival. And Banner Crew. And also don't forget Filming Footy and Sports Interactive, our broadcast partners. And the Thirsty Camel Goal of the Week, the Bianco Mark of the Week.
Fingers crossed we see some high flyers and some great goals this afternoon. Already a tight tussle in the middle between Bo McRae, looked like he has the job on Nick Favretto, who is of course leading Goodwood Saints this afternoon. Umpires Bo Girdham and Chris Rash in the field, and we're underway. Sacred Heart Middle School on this Saturday afternoon. Bo Girdham throws it up and they go to work. Well, he won't throw it up. Free kick out of the middle. So an interesting way to start this one as Sacred Heart get their hands on the footy first. Coming in this week, of course, led at quarter time last week and led it by 1 point before losing to Glenunga, and Goody Saints immediately turn over. Here's Anderson. Short kick down the line, beautiful mark. And presenting, quick handball back to that man Anderson as he goes inside 50. Sees something he likes and taking the mark and coming out to meet it. And a lovely mark there on the chest of Jacob Heitman.
Beautiful mark there by Heitman. Lovely run there on the and work from Anderson was terrific there off that half-back flank. So Heitman should have no problems with the distance from here.
Heitman coming off 21, 22 and 26 possessions in the last 3. So he leans back nicely, but he moved it out to the left and the ball never came back. But 59 games, and in 59 of those, all those games, been named in the best 29 times. So look for a big day for Jacob Heitman this afternoon. As I was mentioning, on the Goodwood side of things, 2 of their last 3 have been wins. And here's Harry Morgan, his farewell game this afternoon.
So Morgan goes looking for Collado down this broadcast wing. Some nice crumbing work. Chain of hand passes, looking for a target forward. No one really at home at the moment. Well chipped off there by Luders. Just as if he's the son of Roger Luders, famous full forward for West Adelaide in the 80s. So Luders goes back down the line. They've played down this line most of this term, opening minutes of this opening term. Ball comes to ground, and Dykesman's will peel himself off the bottom of the pack. And of course, Dykesman's kicked 9 goals from 9 games to kick off the season.
Indeed, Ryan Dykesman played for Blackwood between 2016 and 2022, and before that had experience at West Adelaide in the Sandful. So a reliable conveyance and a player who will be named in the best more times than not. Win last week for Goody Saints. Free kick again off the ball. Umpire Girdham getting involved and evening it up. 1 apiece. And the captain, Nick Favretto, getting under the skin of the Shock. Midfield early. Free kick given away by Moore. Drives it in there, does the Italian beast. But it comes out of their short kick, claims. And Mark Pay to Joel Cross. South Adelaide veteran. We'll touch more on him in a second as the kick comes out short. Running onto it more. McRae does nicely. Short little nibbler going towards forward 50. Lynch chases back and a bit of tunnel ball. Learned that in the playground. And a hard tackle coming in from Anderson as they lock it up. About 55 out. Going the end of Goody Saints. Umpire's got work to do.
So it could be the first attacking thrust here for the local team. On the home deck at the middle school here. Sacred Heart. So quick whip out the back there. Nice quick chain. Umpire's found a free kick. Looks like a high tackle. So nice work there by Whitelock. Whitelock switches the play. Goes to Anderson. Little chip over the top there to Johnson. So happy to maintain the possession here, Goodwood. Started well, and they'll need to. Looking for that 45 in board. Good possession and some great pressure there in the midfield. Ball comes out and comes to ground. Nice hands there by Moore. Quick kick inside forward 50. Tumble kick. Plenty of players around this possession here. Passage of play. Some good work there by Luders again. Ball should be held up. Umpire circling and he says, my ball, boys. So teams, both teams starting to feel themselves out. On the scoreboard, amazingly, still on the B grade score. So ball thrown up right on the 50-metre arc. Shock's just gone in for the second time here inside their forward 50. Some strong tackling at ground level. We suspect the ball's going to be on the ground quite a lot this afternoon, Jack Moore.
Well, interestingly, in their only other match-up this season, of course, back in round 1 at Goody Saints, it was a victorious afternoon for Goodwood against Shock and a 4-point win, but they went on to lose 5 more after that. It's gone out in the forward pocket for a throw-in, and the only other win coming against Old Ignatians before last week's victory against Broadview. So we spoke to Captain Nick Favretto last week on ground, and he was saying to us that a big emphasis has been placed on the second half of this season. They see themselves in the mix to claim that 5th spot, as the top 4 looks pretty locked away in this middle part of the season. Anderson, once again, serene comes out. He's the best on ground from last week. Young Charlie Pridham did well, racked it up. And back in the side this week is MacArthur. 13 goals in 9 games this season. 6 of those in the league. Goodwin. Short. Just bites it off nicely. Jesse Johnson. JJ goes inside forward 50. Not sure what he saw there. In a rare occurrence. It's like seeing the Aurora Borealis there. Clayton Simons in the short sleeves as Shock rebound.
Good work there by Simons on that far side. Should have been a free kick and is given. So over committing to the contest in a 2-on-1. So it's been all Goodwood Saints early doors. It's a switch on. Whether they take that risk early, probably not prepared to. So they go down the line. Long kick. Searching for that tall target, and there's 3 up in the air there for Sacred Heart. Ball comes to ground. And a nice little tap on there. And the ball should roll out of play.
Just got Anderson playing loose man behind the footy, which is interesting.
Yeah, he's playing that quarterback role quite well at the moment. He's probably up to about 4 or 5 possessions already. And there's only about 5 minutes gone first term. Nice tap there. Comes to ground. Plenty of numbers around this passage of play. Nice little chip inside 50. And they should repel here from their foot back 50. Under the pump there was, sorry, it was Simons. And the ball will trickle out of play. And we'll have a boundary thrown about 70 from home for Goodwood.
Our boundary umpires, Eli Courtney and Bradley Fallon. And between the sticks with the flags, Philip Devlin, Ethan Scarman. And again, field umpires, Bo Girdham and Chris Rash. Cloudy afternoon, but the rain hasn't greeted us just yet. Tough in there, tight, and Goody does well. It's Goodwin at the base of the park and well tackled. Pridham waits out the back, but nothing for him to get his hands on just yet. He's manned up by Rankin. And Ethan Moore taken care of by Oliver Johnson. Nice little fist. Little 1%ers win the game, get the ball forward and see what you get forward to centre. Lynch, he's the man we were talking about. Pridham, not much of him, but that kick, lace out, but to an opposition player, unfortunately. Best on ground last week, Charlie Pridham, averaging 20 touches for the season for the Saints. Comes boundary side, and well done, Jackie Looters. One club player spoils it out, and Shock will try to repel and work it out of the boundary throw-in.
So it's a great match up there, Kakuro and Looters. Kakuro, the second leading goal kicker in the Division 1 with 24 goals thus far. Ball comes to ground. Nice work there by Johnson. Quick kick. Snaps around the corner. It's one for the Crummers. And Simon's there. The captain leading the way for Sacred Heart. Just walks the ball over the line. So no last possession. I'll have a throw in. Right on the Sportal scoreboard side. So we're about 7 minutes down first term. Only 1 point to Goodwood Saints. Shallow throw in. Could have been a free off that ruck contest, not paid. Quick kick out of that defensive 50. And a nice punch over the line. Pridham at the front of that pack. Been busy early. And I think he's just ran the ball over the line. Or is there a free kick? No, boundary umpire. So we'll throw in about 35 from home for Goodwood Saints.
This game, a huge test of their ability to really compete for that 5th position, and if they get there, even challenge come finals time. But the Saints believe in this early stage. The kick didn't go 15. Umpire wise to it, crosses his chest. Interesting stat I found during the week, Matt, is Sacred Heart have actually kicked 39 more goals this season, which is an astounding stat.
Yeah, they've got a lot of firepower up forward, that's for sure.
Comes in again, umpire Chris Rash. Umpire the reserves and really earning his money this afternoon, an 8-quarter effort. Shock looking to atone for that loss at Goody in round 1, as we mentioned earlier, and the tough tackles come in once again. Bo McRae just pushing his weight around and getting involved with Jay Cleland. Cleland kicked 2 goals in the opening 10 minutes last week, but was held goalless for the rest of that match. Ruck contest does well when McDermott waits at ground level. He's tripped. And he puts the hand up and says, umpire, it wasn't me. And the umpire agrees and nothing doing. Boundary throw in just around the corner from the goal. Goalless. And well, someone's forgotten to start the clock on the scoreboard, but we're roughly about 8 to 9 minutes into this contest. A real fascinating encounter. 2 teams with differing form lines coming into it. Nicely done, Whitelock. Using all his experience from Sturt, now chasing after it. Getting back there, Bennett's taking down, strong tackle by Rankin. Gets up, gets met high, umpire didn't see it, and it falls in the lap of a Shock player. It comes, takes on 1, takes on 2. McDermott just couldn't handle it, and the umpire will give him a much needed reprieve. Shock to boost it inside forward 50.
So they do have the switch on. There's one in the middle there. Few targets on, goes down that line on that far pocket. For Colotto, and the big man's taken it too far from home. Chips in board, and a beautiful kick lands on the chest of Kakuro. So Kakuro, 24 goals this year, and the second leading goal kicker. And I'll tell you what, I put the mockers on Wellsby the last couple of weeks when he went goalless, but I won't be doing that this afternoon with Kakuro.
Kakuro, South Adelaide 2019, played for Chunga in 2021, 377 goals in his 133 games.
So lines up, 30 out, slight angle, shouldn't have any difficulties here. And he opens the account for Sacred Heart. And on the Sportal scoreboard, Sacred Heart 1 straight 6, plays 1 point to Goodwood Saints. It's quite amazing this first 7, 8, 10 minutes, it's probably been all Goodwood's way. And Sacred Heart have gone forward only really convincingly once, and they've got their first one on the board.
And that goal came from really lowering the eyes and seeing a better option. One thing Shock have been really good at is using all of their players this year. And in terms of disposal average, the only one averaging over 20 this year is Seb Kerrish, and the next best at 17, Lovelock, McDermott, Simons, Morgan, 15 this year. So from a team up there in the top 3 and top 4 mix, they're really sharing the love.
They certainly do. And exactly what I was about to say, they definitely share the love. Great work in the middle there by Heitman. Ball comes out towards Pridham. Pridham dishes out the back there to Anderson. Anderson being terrific so far. Strong contest on that far side. And a good punch from that contest sees the ball out of play. So it'll be at right half forward for the Goodwood Saints. I had an interesting conversation with you, hearing about the Goodwood Saints chiming in for that potential fifth spot. I'm also on the Brighton bandwagon at the moment, having done their game the last 2 weeks.
2 clubs in the mix, and fifth spot is really up for grabs. We see Tea Tree Gully just falling off the edge of a cliff in the past few weeks.
Well, they don't play away from home. That's their difficulty.
Had them here against Shock, and Shock put 11 goals in the last quarter on them to win by 97. The big fella, Kyle Otto, player coach, leading from the front as he always does. Sees Kakiro mismatch, but he always is favourite to win that with the strong hands. Just went through the fingertips, and a reprieve, and serene, quiet last week. Dashes across the back 50. Bit of risk in that. Morgan closing in. Scarra willingly accepts the mark. Finds a short option. It's Bennett's. As they're locked in to D50, Shock really applying the lock. Nothing for him. He's going to have to go down the line. There's a few contests when he does. And right in front of us, the big ruckman sticks the jukes up, if you don't mind. Noble does nicely, but he bites off a 45, and they work it through Kerrish, one of their stars. Of course, the lead disposal getter. Handball's nice, running on. They're on the same page. Read each other's minds. Sammy Laub, kick spoiled. Handball again, chance to reload. And he thinks, well, I'll get it to the teeth of goals and it might just go through. Or the umpire will pay a free kick. And the advantage taken. And 2 quick goals. How's that? Beautiful goal for Henry McAuliffe. Kicked one from 50 last time I was here, but the advantage and the easiest goal you'd ever get.
Some great work there by Simons on that far side. It really set that up, and Carlotto could have actually got a free kick. He was actually shoved out of that contest pretty convincingly. But a smart player like McAuliffe will take advantage of that free kick, which was given at the top of the square, an advantage we played. We got two goals on the Sportal scoreboard. So great start here by Sacred Heart. Sportal scoreboard, about 12 minutes in. 2 straight 12 plays, 1 behind. And every post a winner, and been very cost effective inside their forward 50. So Noble goes up against the big tool Timber. So the umpire's found a free kick. Recipient is Fairley, former West Adelaide product. Nice short kick. Goes back to Fairley. Fairley trips over his own 2 feet. Finds a player out wide. Not sure if he's found his target quite yet, but it eventually gets out to that side. Short kick inside 50. And the player, well, that's almost a Bianco mark of the week, as the player landed right in the puddle, and they've found a free kick off the ball to McRae.
Flirting with the boundary line. Boundary line just won on that occasion, as the player who took the mark came down like he was having a day out at Wet and Wild over there.
What was that free kick for? Was it out of bounds on
the full? Out of bounds on the full,
right.
I believe.
Yeah, okay.
So just testing those boundaries. And we mentioned in that last play, Connor Fairley, 1 goal of the week last week. He told me after the game that he's been playing in defence and he was pushed forward, and looks like he's retaining that mid-half forward role as he gets busy around the stoppage, but the ball doesn't quite fall to him. Charlie MacArthur dropped last week I should say, 13 goals in the 9 games prior to that, buzzing around, and he's tackled and wrapped up inside forward 50, hands the ball back to the umpire. 2 goals, 12 Shock. Goody Saints 1 behind, even though they've had a lot of the ball, a lot of the contest, and a block in the ruck. Relieves the pressure, going the way of Bradley Noble, played for Ports between 11 and 16. in the country leagues, Port Lincoln. And on the Glenelg reserve list in 2017-18, his kick goes towards the outer side and coming up to meet it. Clayton Simons gets them moving. McAuliffe, and the run continues. They run the ball better than any side I've seen this season. And a nice one, but taken afterwards, Brinkworth. Nicholas Burgess puts his hand out and says, umpire, I didn't do it. But the umpire's already made the decision, and it will be a shot on goal, 45 out. The big man happily accepts the reward, and he'll go back and line up for Shock's third.
It's been some great ball movement. I think the disposal efficiency has been the key so far for Sacred Heart, and that's clearly the difference, I think, Jack.
So Jackie Fox, one club player, 61 goals in his 27 games prior to this. Better than 2 goals a game. Leans back. That's the goals in his sights. Falls short, and there's a contest in the goal square. And lucky for Goody Saints, the option to rush it was there, and he took it. The pressure is building.
So Anderson with the kicking duties. He's got plenty of roles in this team. Comes out the far side on a 3-on-1 contest. Ball comes to ground. It's one for the Rovers this afternoon. And Stacks on the middle, and umpire says mine ball. Right half forward for Sacred Heart. And the Favretto-McRae match up, starting to get a bit of fiery mustard involved in it. Noble should have actually got the kicking in danger free kick, not paid. Great work there and excellent hands. And I think Ethan Moore has been given the push in the back. And they're away there, Sacred Heart as well. But the ball will come back to Ethan Moore.
Little spot fires everywhere, isn't there, Matt, off the ball? And Goody really throwing their weight around. It's almost looked like it's been a team instruction to just get at Shocks in every contest they can. Put some body contact on them. Make sure they know they're here for the fight.
Yeah, physicality at the moment. So Moore goes inside 50. Looking for Carlado. Big man gets his hands up. Excellent raving there by Lauby. Still with Lauby. Lauby just chimes over. Not his director kicked, I wouldn't have thought, but it's landed on the chest of Simons. So Simons is going to have to kick from 50. Maybe too far from home. The son of Glenelg legend Tony Simons looked to play on. He looked at Lauby, looked at McRae. Didn't go that option, so he's going to have to go for goal here. Close to the man on the mark. Not going to get the distance. Drifts off to the side and puts through for a mind of a score. So 2-2-14 on the Sportal scoreboard. 1 point to Goodwood Saints after dominating the first 5 minutes.
For a star around the ground, Simons 29 games and 25 goals. So really deadly if you let him get any space or touches. Here we go. They're going forward again. Sanderson, nice little handball off. McCall, oh, it goes bang! Dougie Proud, if you don't mind, from 40 out, open goal, runs into it and kicks it. Shocks pulling away, 3 goals, 2-20, Sportal scoreboard. Goody Saints, 1 behind. Dougie Proud, 1 club player. He's had 17, 21 and 17 disposals last 3 weeks and makes himself a goal kicker. Great goal, good teamwork.
With a name like Dougie Proud, that is a cult figure type name, and he's definitely started that. And when that goal went through the sticks, didn't the local crowd get excited about that one? So magnificent start here by Sacred Heart. And Colorado will go into the ruck against Cleland. So Cleland with a height advantage of probably about 4 inches. Colorado goes up early. Loves the tap on the left hand, even though he's a right foot jumper. Bit of a stalemate there at ground level. And you imagine this is going to be the case as the game extends throughout the day. Nice tap there by Colorado taking the front position. And we may have a repeat ball up, and we do. So very handy 19-point lead. About halfway through this first term. And we've had spot fires everywhere at the moment. Colorado wins that tap out, lands on the chest of Scara. Scara looking at Sinar forward for a direct link to home, but can't find one. Ball comes to ground. Some great work there at ground level. And a beautiful tackle there by Kerrish. Ball comes around again. And that quick kick outside D50 will not find a target. And a strong mark there in a second-handed attempt. And I thought the umpire called my ball, but he's actually paid the mark. So he has called my ball.
Get a couple of hands in the process. Umpire right on the spot. Morgan laying it all on the line his last match. For Shockers this year, ball touched. Down the line, Anderson comes fast, runners there. And Luders gets absolutely swamped by a shock tsunami. They came for him and they got him. They did not miss.
Tell you what, McRae is the Baked Beans tackler of the year for Division 1. He's absolutely outstanding with his tackling pressure. Bone crusher.
He's a bit of a nugget out there, isn't he? Just absolutely gets you and you know you've been tackled if you're hit by Bo McRae. Slight hold, but they run for the footy and it comes towards us. Kept in somewhat unwisely to begin with, but it's finished in a wise situation going the way of Fox and MacArthur. Pridham gets down there. Not much of him, but real strength to take the play to ground. Ball up.
Clyde gets the tap and hand passes it forward with no direct. Oh, it could have been a scoop off the ground. Goes towards McRae. Can't gather the ball. And locked up in a tackle about 20 from home.
Just going to mention in 2 of their 3 losses this year, Shock have been held to 6 goals. So real key to keep them to a low goal tally.
So Colado tries to take that ball out of the ruck again. Spills out. Great work there. And attacking the ball ferociously there was Morgan.
Umpires getting themselves really involved.
So Morgan will be the recipient of the free kick. He's been busy in his last game, as we've heard already. And I think he took the legs out of Morgan and gets the free kick. I actually really like that rule because it does protect the person going in. And it used to be dive on the ball, but break people's ankles at the same time. So Morgan, kick from about 25, slide angle, shouldn't miss from here. Umpire goes to his left and he has. So he'll rue that opportunity. And it'll be 3-4, 22 to 1 point straight, entering time on first term.
49 goals, Harrison Morgan, so he's looking to sign off at the 50th, and you would have backed him to raise the bat for a half century. Not to be. Strong mark in the contest, didn't quite hold it. Cleland, Simons, bit of dirty dancing, footsteps, I like it. Just stepped inside the opponent and got the kick deep. Anderson's been near best on. Over 150 games for Sturt between 04 and 2011, so he's been around the traps, a veteran. But Goody for the best part of the past 12 seasons. Tom Anderson, his kick comes down, Simons. The ball just finds him, he's got magnets in those fingertips. Morgan tries to fake a free kick, gets to his knees, desperate for an option. McRae comes through, and McRae, well, he gets a bit of his own medicine as he's taken down to ground.
Yeah, excellent work there by McRae. Ball gets thrown up. Colado doing some excellent work with his crafty left hand. Comes out to the back of McDermott. McDermott snaps and lands right on the last line of defence. So Shock really on top at home here. That kick doesn't make the target. All sorts of pressure there for Lynch. He barreled into the ground and the umpire says holding the ball. So the forward line pressure and the pressure meter's right up here. And it's Shock with the lot at the moment.
Short uncontested option, you've just got to hit that coming out of defensive 50 if you're on the last line of attack. As we hear the quarter time siren go in the background. Couldn't be a worse time to give away a free kick and Shock a chance to stick the dagger in.
Yeah, Nettie Brooks here with a shot on the siren. Pretty difficult angle right on the boundary line. I just had a look from those goals just before the game. Pretty narrow pocket, so he shouldn't have any problems with the accuracy here. Definitely not the distance. Purposeful line up, and he's drilled a little twindler that doesn't go. It ends up on the full. So on the Sportal scoreboard at quarter time, 3-21. Pretty convincing display in the first term there by the home side. Goodwood Saints with 1 point. We'll come back with all the key messages after this break. on, mate. Yeah, whenever you're ready, mate. Welcome back to this round 10 clash for the Adelaide Footy League, brought to you by Programs to Fit. Big thank you to Filming Footy and Sports Interactive, our broadcast partners, and in the Sportal scoreboard at quarter time. 3-3 Sacred Heart, clearly with a 20-point buffer over the Goodwood Saints with 1 point. Goal scorers to quarter time, Kakuro opening the account with 1 goal, and singles also to Dougie Proud and Henry McAuliffe. To bring you the second quarter action is Jack Moore.
Having a sneak peek at that round 1 match-up with these two sides, where Goody came away with the chocolates, and Beau McRae, Seb Carish, Joel Cross, all in the best, and Dykesman Lynch serene for Goody. The top 3 for them. It was a 3-goal lead at quarter time for Goody on that day, and as we stand here, it's a 3-goal lead the other way. Shocks just returning the favour. McRae, the tackling beast, getting amongst it again. Quick kick going the way of Shocks, and the super boot coming out of defence. Gluyas. His kick is turned over and finds Lynch. That was a famous name, Tom Lynch. They're playing a bit of intercept footy at the moment, though, as Shock looks to send it right back his way. Back to Gluyas. Bit of kick to kick here at Shock Middle School. It's a lovely day so far. Overcast, cool conditions. Rain threatening, but nothing yet. McRae, that must be his 100th tackle already, and we've only played a minute in this second quarter. Gee, he grabs anything that moves, Matt Gale.
Yeah, he's actually ranked the number 1 player with 7 best player out of 9 games in the Division 1 this year, so he's been outstanding. I'm going to go with the bone crusher, McRae. So ball on that far side, trickles out of this contest. Nice little hand pass, very close, and there's going to be plenty of tackles this afternoon from both sides. So Goodwood Saints really need to get the opening goal of this second term to get themselves back into this game. If they're going to get anywhere near Shock on their home deck. Ball comes to that contest and clearly punched away there by Kerish. So he'll be throwing it true centre wing on the far side.
Quick chance, of course, to take you around the grounds. Glenunga at Brighton. They're up by 8 points early stages second quarter. And Broadview leading Port District by 7 points second quarter.
Well,
Prince Alfred up by 11 at home against Spock. And Old Ignatians, unfortunately, down by 25 points at quarter time, allowing 7 Tea Tree Gully goals in the first quarter. All those games, of course, on Filming Footy. Have a sneak peek at them and come right back here.
Can't believe I said Tea Tree Gully doesn't play anywhere near their ability north of south of Jeps Cross. So
just the matchup they required. Old Ignatians team, which, they're destined for the drop, unfortunately, in season 2023. Ball going forward. And a lovely mark, take you on the chest. Going forward again, Rankin sends it deep. Only as far as the Goody Saints fullback, and he's devoid of options. Chooses the tallest man on the ground this afternoon, but even Cleland can't quite take it. Follows up nicely, defensive work from the journeyman. And just give me a few moments to get through his career. He was at the Bush Rangers, then went to Wangaratta between 2010 and 16, and Werribee, West Adelaide, and here he is applying his trade for Goodwood this afternoon. Free kick going the way of Ethan Moore. He's done beautiful things so far. 4 goals in his 10 games this season as he lines up from 55.
some great work there by Shock on that far side, and I thought Cleland probably should have taken that mark, and they would have been down the other end, but some good work to keep possession in that area. And they got the clamps on again, Shocks.
Right behind the kick, Moore from about 50. Favretto stands mark, intimidating figure. And the wind just takes the ball nicely towards the left-hand side. Sportal scoreboard ticks across. 3-4-22. Goody Saints, one behind.
Nice work there by Ethan Moore, but it was a very similar to a Stephen Kernahan helicopter on that occasion. So can they lock this ball inside their forward 50? Very good structurally. Sacred Heart, so play on from that full-back kick in. Nice work there by Whitelock. Gains plenty of distance on that far side. So about a kick and a half from home. And the ball, umpire says my ball on the right half forward flank. So Goodwood Saints desperate for a goal after starting the game really, really well, but no scoreboard pressure to speak of. And we'll have another throw-in by the look of it, and we do.
Just around stoppage, I've noticed the Goody Saints players off the ball getting sucked probably about 3 or 4 metres in towards the contest, and as soon as that ball leaves, it's gone over their heads, and Shock have 3 or 4 guys who are hanging back, and that counter-attack has been fierce and fearsome.
Yep, great call. Noble, brilliant tap. Ball comes to ground. Comes to McRae, whacks it on the boot. Has a crack at home and registers 1 behind. So 3-5-23. Goodwood Saints 1 point on the Sportal score. About 5 minutes in second term.
Sacred Heart Middle School, the venue. Fascinating encounter coming in as to how Goody Saints would repel this all-conquering Shocks team. If you didn't know, Shock Division 2 last year, they've come right up, recruited nicely and sit in the top 3. Brought back down to earth slightly by Glenunga last week, but they were right in that match. Serene. Kicks to a big bunch of players out there on the outer wing, and again Morgan, right place, right time. No real option on the kick, but it falls nicely once again, and over here, massage, but didn't distract the mark.
Geez, a great attack on the ball by Looters. Tried to give out some gym music, but it was a superb mark.
Still things going the way of Shock. You can call it luck or you can call it positioning.
Yeah, I agree. It's structured sensationally, and Coach Collado, using all of his experience over 100 games at this NFL level with South Adelaide.
Playing in front, it's the spot where you want to be. Goal umpire does some work, but he backtracks and he runs right back up to the line, and Shocks have 4. Threatening to blow this one wide open. Sportal scoreboard 4 goals, 5-29. Goody Saints, for all their tough work and their toil, yet to hit the scoreboard, and Cammy Rankin adds his name to the goal scorers.
Couldn't quite see that goal scorer. I thought it was looked like Ned Brooks, but we'll go with Rankin at this stage. So watch this last contest, and Noble's work at ground level was absolutely outstanding. So gives away some height advantage that makes up with desperation at ground level and plenty of courage. So Noble up against Cleland. Shock well on top. Cleland comes over the top. Great work there, comes out the back there to Johnson. Secondary hand pass. No one to really be a recipient there at ground level. Umpire's found a free kick over the shoulder. And the level of pressure is starting to rise again. So this is where they love to be. Kick straight down that forward 50, straight down the tarmac. Can't find a target at ground level. Looks like there's a free kick. There's a trip. And a free kick's been given to Ned Brooks.
Saints are losing their composure, Matt.
Yeah, I think Ned Brooks might have been their last goal kicker. Just looking at that again, it looked like his number was pretty clouded with mud. We'll check that in the...
I went for a Rankin because of the boots, so I'm not sure I've made a mistake, but we'll get back to you on that one.
We'll get back to you on that one. But Ned Brooks, he's going to have to kick from well outside 50. He's got a nice breeze coming over his left shoulder. And if he can give it a little bit left to right, he shouldn't have any problems with the distance or the accuracy. So Brooks gives it a fair old whack. Oh, gives it the kitchen sink. Boom! Magnificent goal to Brooks. And Shocks are exploding here at the middle school.
Brooks with an absolute cannon of a boot. Loaded it up, and those cars behind the fence are in real danger.
What an outstanding start here by Sacred Heart on their home deck. And if anyone whispers the word percentage, look out, because they're hungry this afternoon.
Brooks' experience with Marble Range in the Port Lincoln League, and I tell you what, if you're going to play in one of those country leagues, you're going to want to be big-bodied, have a big boot on you, don't you? Because some of those guys playing in those country regions are tough as they come. And that kick was one for the pool room, an absolute masterpiece from Brooks. MacArthur getting in, he wants to keep his spot after losing it last week. Saints came here with a mission to prove that they're a real chance for that 5th spot. Well, that mission's been failed at the current time. But doing something about it, nicely tackling Jade Cleland. A real journeyman looking to stamp his mark on this game and lead that Goody midfield group behind him. At the moment, it's a one-man band. Taken out of the ruck and kicked forward. Real chance. inside their forward half. Handball misses. MacArthur can't do much with that. Simon's always there. Tracked by Pridham, does nicely, takes him down. And the ball is coming our way.
Just got my first possession, Jack Moore.
The high fives are coming thick and fast for Shocks, but we'll add Matt Gale one disposal on our team sheet. Matt Gale, Jack Moore at Sacred Heart Middle School. This match, an intense pressure and held and taken without it. Beau McRae, he's leaving him one to remember, but the free kick was there, took him down off the ball, and Goody will load up and go inside forward 50.
So Connor fairly kicks inside 50, no mark taken. Don't worry, the Bone Crusher's about. He's ready to crush someone again. Ball comes to ground. Good work there to Kerrish. Got a beautiful left foot on him. Goes down the line looking for Colado, pushed out of the contest at the pivotal time. Comes out to Cleland, not his best work at ground level. And he's crushed for the second time in a minute.
Ethan Moore leaving his mark.
The pressure meter's really starting to rise from both teams, as Goodwood started this second term quite poorly. So Colado goes up against Cleland. Fair wrestle in the ruck contest. Comes out to Goodwood. Goodwood snaps around the corner looking for some fresh air. Goes towards MacArthur. Strong tackle again. Snapped inside the forward 50 by Dykesman. Here's one for a crummer at ground level, an opportunist, and the ball goes out of play. Looking for a free kick here. Maybe he snuck one. Comes out. Is he paid it deliberate or off the boot of the defender there? Well, I'll just wait for confirmation. Boundary umpire, field umpire, goal umpire, all confirmed with one another. And we'll have a throw in, thanks. So after a bit of...
They're all there, of course. If they aren't all sure, the lesser gets paid. So beautiful decision. Consultation. Umpires right on the spot. Beautiful in Division 1 with time off to get the decision right. And they do. MacArthur, strong, spinning him out of bounds. And making him really acquainted there with the turf.
Almost had to peel him off the turf there.
Recalled this week, MacArthur. He's not giving up his spot easily. Working towards the front. And talking of in the right spot, Cleland, he's had a big 5 minutes. Goodwood really making a push, but they're 5 goals back. They need a fire starter, and if there ever is going to be one, it would be their captain, Favoretto. He's pushed himself forward, looking to attack the ball with vigour. The only man with the ball in his hands, though, is the boundary umpire. Sportal scoreboard, Shocks by 34.
So ball thrown in, 35 from home for Goodwood Saints. Can they get one on the board here? Against the tide, that's a high tackle. Umpire's obscured, calls my ball. So as the crowd suggests, we'll forgive him for that. He did get obscured. So they need to pounce, they need to press hard here, Goodwood. Time is running out slowly to get themselves back into the game. Tap out the back there. Ball comes towards the Gray, snaps, and the ball lands on the last line of defence through. So the switch is on and the umpire's found a 25. I like how they use a 25 in this league, so sometimes doesn't warrant a 50, only warrants a 25, and that one certainly did, Jack Moore.
Tom Lynch and Cleland just rotating loose behind the footy. Anderson now that loose man. Playing a zoning defence, but it's more man on man right at full back. So the kick goes down towards the Anderson territory. Chance to reload. Loose man inside 50. Manned up now. Shock do well. Leading out for it. Wanting it. Johnson ignored. And the more time they take to move it forward, the more time Shock have to set up their defence. And now Colado drops himself back. Smart from the coach. In the hole where this ball lands. So the Saints really can't go long, otherwise it's going to go right down his throat. Puts the dancing shoes on and drives it long. And the hands come up and it's beautifully done. Jesse Johnson. You could call it a contested mark, but he's that tall. The hands are up that high. He took it without contest. He'll go back from 45 outside angle.
So great work here by Goodwood Saints just to get some ascendancy their way. But they need this scoreboard pressure. Must kick this one.
Johnson, the duty man. He's spent time in Devonport in Tas, West Coburg, Bendigo and West Adelaide. You'd expect better than that He'll say you meant it. Simons accepts the invitation. Beautiful short option. Sharks do this so well. And just conceding over the boundary line. Gee, you'd expect better from a veteran of his quality from that last shot on goal, Matt Gale.
So Clotto improvising in the ruck, shallow throwing, good tap on his left. Comes out at the boundary line, strong tackle by Simons on Hateman. And we'll have a repeat throw in. So about half through this second term. Sacred Heart clearly on top with a 34-point lead. We're looking to build on that. On the other hand, though, Goodwood Saints looking to get themselves back into this game. Comes out the back, great hands. Goes to Simons. Quick snap over his shoulder. Beautiful mark. Taken there by Rankin. Rankin delivers inside that true centre half forward area.
So smooth.
Finds the chest of Kakuro. So plays well above his height as a key forward. Not his best kick.
He's off.
So play on, says the umpire, and he does. And they switch the play out towards Dykesman. So Dykesman steady, not much on. Has to bide his time, goes inboard.
They go fast.
Yeah, they've got to go quick and fast, but they don't have anything on because they've been chasing tails all day.
MacArthur in 40 metres of space.
So it comes out to Serene. Serene pops on it over the top and should find the test of Skara. So Skara goes backwards, then goes forward. Not his best kick, puts Pridham under all sorts of immense pressure. Morgan should. Oh, he's taken high by Serene and given one extra one for his wrongdoing. So Morgan.
It's quite obvious to me, Matt, when Goody have the ball, their midfield group and their forward group are not on the same page.
No, ball comes to ground. Good work there by Whitelock. Does well to get that off the pack. Goes to Pridham. Been busy in the first time. Haven't spotted him much in this second. So they're out here through Anderson, the elder statesman. Goes to Ferretto. Got plenty of mud on his back, but not that many disposals. Goes down the line with a helicopter. Can't find his target. This is where Sacred Heart will lock and put it away. And I really don't like that decision.
And we have a dog on the field.
And we've got a Staffy on the field looking for a stat.
There's a dog on the wing.
They might call time off as the Staffy goes through the half-forward flank. Goes inside 50.
He's going, he's running towards goal.
He's had two bounces, the Staffy.
He's all by himself. Give him the footy. Oh, he's off.
And he's off. He's back to the car park. Thank goodness for that, Jack Moore.
That's a first. Perhaps a bit of a settler for Goody Saints, but unfortunately that little delay has provided Shock with ample opportunity to get numbers back. 1 on 2 in the end, coming fast and forward and snapping beautifully, but just missing offline. Attacking the footy, Burgess. Can't kick truly. Sportal scoreboard, 5-5-35. Goody Saints 2 behinds. We're about halfway through the second quarter. Out of wing. Going back inside 50. Johnson got it through and looking for Burgess once again. Couldn't mark it over his head. Comes strong with the follow-up tackle. Ball up, 30 out from goal.
Real sign of an excellent team here with Sacred Heart. The ball's been in this forward half for about 5-7 minutes. Haven't conceded much more than 1 point, which has been terrific.
Saints with one final push, it seems, in this second quarter. Filming footy. All other Division 1 games, of course, live streamed every week. So get along and check those out and come back here for what promises to be an interesting second half and remaining half of this second quarter. Game is still on the line. 33-point, 5-goal margin. Quite easy to overcome. Locked inside forward 50. As the sun says hello. Favretto waiting at ground level and hustling and bustling through his... He's taken down. Tried to inject a bit of speed, Heitman, but all he could do was find about 4 blue jerseys.
So we've got the switch on in the pocket. Goes backwards to Kerish. Half volley. Thankfully not much duress for him. Goes wider to Dewhurst. So have a look for that 45 kick. Nothing on. He's probably going to have to go long down the line. And he does. Big pack forms. Nice work there by Ethan Moore. Having a cracking second quarter. So it's a race here. Foot race is on. And tell you what, Ethan Moore, he's made up some ground from 5 deep. Gets his nose pressed into the turf and he gets a free kick from good measure. So plays on immediately. Got a player on. Beautiful kick.
Noble.
And some great work there by Noble, who's resting up on the forward line. So Ethan Moore, what a passage of play by the young fella. And lands on the chest of the resting ruckman in Jackson Fox. So the ponytail probably got the better of us in the end.
Look very similar, those two individuals.
Yes, so you'd have to think that Fox is going to have to kick from outside 50. He'll need to give him his best kick this afternoon if he's going to post this one for home. So Fox loads up. The Foxy lady is home. And a magnificent goal. And they extend their lead on the scoreboard. 6-5-41, 39-point lead heading into time on Goodwood Saints. Just the 2 points at this stage.
61 goals in 27 games. Make that 62 for the Fox. All by himself as the Saints' defensive structure was taken out of place and ripped up, put through a shredder. And so far, the game plan has followed suit for the Saints this afternoon. And it's turning into what could be a pretty embarrassing day if they don't get themselves started soon. Scoreless in the goal column. And we've ticked over into time on in this second quarter, approaching half time. A real worry for Goody. What do they do now? Elect to go into damage limitations or chase this match? Still plenty of time. 39-point lead, Sport or scoreboard. Kyle smart. So stays at ground level, elects not to jump. And the hit out comes away of Morgan. He's taken afterwards, and excellent umpiring by Bo Girdham. Eyes on that contest, and the mark was taken anyway. Here's Fairley. Forward 50 and a real chance for his second goal. It's Proud on the outer side. Looking to inflict a bit more pain on the Saints. Leans back, gives it all he's got. Not going to be enough. Straight to the teeth of goals. Umpire bangs the chest and one behind. We'll bring you up to date with some scores from around the ground shortly.
So can Goodwood Saints go from one end to the other? They really need to inject themselves into the game somehow. And we've seen that the likes of Ferretto just can't get their hands on the pill at the moment. Ball comes to ground. Good work there by Ferretto, just called him on cue. So this is the quick ball movement they're looking for. Pridham's got one out the back. And Burgess needs to hold on. Can go over the top to Johnson. We've got MacArthur streaming through 50. And I think he said, boys, I'm going to have to poke this one through. No. And a beautiful kick. And well timed on that lead there was great. So he's going to have to kick from about 45 here, great. Some good ball movement. That's probably then the best play so far from Goodwood Saints this afternoon.
Real nice. It's amazing what you get when you move that footy quick. Shocks, defence in 6s and 7s. Gray's a bit of a journeyman career. He's played in Tassie and also country New South Wales and also the Barossa region too. So he's been around.
He's a well-travelled man. He's going to have to slot this one through from 45. Beautiful kick. Just drifts off to the right. Goal umpire's happy, and Goodwood Saints are finally on the scoreboard in the goal department. 6-6-42. Shock. Goodwood Saints 1-2-8 on the Sport or scoreboard. Time on, second term.
As the Grey Skies move across Sacred Heart Middle School. The man with the similar surname, or the same surname, Gray, injects a little bit of colour into this Goody Saints attack. Super quiet this afternoon. That could have been his first or second possession. It's about what you do with it. And he's popped it through. 212th career game this afternoon for Ryan Gray. First year as a Goody Saint. Margin just closed. And we tick towards 23 minutes. Another goal for the Saints. Fast ball movement. Quick chat at half time. Could get him back in this game. McRae looks to dive on it, but it's held in by the Saints player, umpire Wise. Just trickling towards forward 50. Pridham arrives in the scene, looking to get his hands on the footy. Doesn't fall his way. Coming through nicely is Moore. He's been almost best on in this second quarter for Shock. Applying himself with great fruition. Carlotto. Tap down, stolen off the ruck contest. Heitman inside 50. to no one's advantage. Falls at ground level and coming out to meet it. Fox is down there, but taken by Brinkworth. Out of D50 once again, it's so easy. Morgan, a flurry of handballs. Kick partially smothered, the one-hand mark. He reeled it in nice luck. He's caught a barramundi on the coast. Just stuck the left juke out. And this is what works for Shock so well. Here's Kailotto playing as an on-baller. Takes the mark about 80 out from goal. MacArthur says, umpire, he's moving off his line. Umpire says no. Coming out to meet it and running hard is Brinkworth. Had it on defensive 50 about 30 seconds ago. Gets it here. And a beautiful kick too. An unmanned Clayton Simons. That is Shock ball movement. Lock that up, record it, and play it back. That is sexy stuff.
That is play 101 from Sacred Heart. And Kailotto just dictating terms through his hands there. So some beautiful ball movement. And Simons should not have any pressure here to slot this one through. He's a magnificent shot on goal.
Captain's armband for Simons this afternoon. 25 goals in his 29-game career for the Shockers. And with that one, the Saints, they could be marching out. 8 goals, 6, 54. 1 goal, 2, 8. Sportal scoreboard margin, 46 points.
I don't think Simons could have slotted that any more through the middle than that. It was absolutely superb. And running back to the back flank. So he's off that wing at the moment, unless he does a little U-turn. And he will do it straight back to his wing. So commanding 46-point margin deep into time on this second term. And Kailotto playing the dictator's role in the middle. Will come up against Cleland. Nice tap there by Kailotto. Gets down to the chest of McDermott. Ball hopefully stays in for Shock. Not so much for Goodwood Saints. So the umpire's found a free kick. Might even be a 25. It sounds like some undisciplined play here from Goodwood. Ball goes inside 50. Simons unmarked there. So is Kailotto. Ball comes to ground. Nice hand pass there. Comes out towards Brinkworth. Brinkworth slots it towards Lowby. Lowby switches play. Smart play to McRae. McRae punches away in his team's advantage. Serene. Hand pass to Cleland. Cleland comes out to this broadcast side and lands in the lap of Gray.
Shock starting to blow Goody out of the water. They played their home ground so well this season, racking up 18 goals on 2 occasions. A 74-point win against Broadview and a 97-point capitulation of Tea Tree Gully, and they're threatening here to do the exact same to Goody Saints. Another team in that mix for 5th. Cross taking it, but turned over straight away. And a bit of relief for Goody Saints as we tick down to half-time. We'll bring you an update with the scores from around the grounds. All those matches, of course, filming Footy live and on demand. Oh, that kick is absolutely gross off the boot, but he's going to get a second chance, taken down afterwards. Siren beats everyone to the punch in the fall of that footy. A 21-point lead at quarter time is ballooned to 46. Sportal scoreboard, 8 goals, 6, 54. Goody Saints, 1 goal, 2, 8. And I could say the Saints have been outclassed, but it's worse than that. Shock making a real statement after their loss to Glenunga last week.
Certainly have. Goal scorers to half-time: Couture, Simons, Rankin, Proud, Fox, Brooks and McAuliffe with all singles. We potentially have Ned Brooks at 2 goals. We'll check that out in the half-time break. And the only goal scorer, and that was in time on second term, was Ryan Gray. Very dominant first half. We'll be back with all the action after these key messages. Welcome back to this second half of the round 10 clash between Sacred Heart Old Collegians and the Goodwood Saints, brought to you by Filming Footy and Sports Interactive. Let's have a look around the grounds with Jack Moore.
That's it. So Brighton Bombers at home against Glenunga. Glenunga, early third quarter, tight contest, low scoring, 26-14, up by 12 points. Port District, Broadview, well, that looks like a bit of a match of the day. A 1 point game, early third quarter, Broadview up down at Largs Reserve. And Prince Alfred kicking away now from St. Peter's, 66-29, a margin of 37. And Tea Tree Gully at halftime, 73. Old Ignatians, 35, up by 38 points. So have a check of those games, all games, I should say, by Head on Demand on Filming Footy on the YouTube. And come back here, it's halftime, third quarter. Here's Matt Gale.
So Rana into the ruck against Noble. Great tap there by Noble. Ball comes to the ground. Beautiful kick out of that contest was Ethan Moore. Had a terrific first half. Great tackling there at ground level, but giving away the free kick was Lauby. So straight away they play on Serene. Serene switches the play. Interesting kick. Needs to run onto it here, the elder statesman. Sorry, in Whitelock. Looked like the elder statesman in Anderson, but it wasn't the case. Great work there by Morgan. And I think both players will be happy with that throw-in. Well, as he found a free kick for last touch, he has. So Morgan fortuitously gets the free kick. Yeah, both umpires convene, and that is the case. So Morgan at right half back. Great start, just chips it over the top onto the chest of Brinkworth. Brinkworth's got the 45 on, and Noble goes that direction. So easy mark by the big man, plays on. Not his best kick, dribbler into the middle of the Sacred Heart Old Collegians Middle School. Comes out as that man Anderson. So Anderson goes to switching the play. So a chain of hand passes to Ferretto. And a great punch on that last line of defence, but it hasn't cleared. So Cleland doing the roving work at ground level. Quick hand pass out the back there to Fairley. Fairley plays on to Prudham. Prudham's caught holding the ball, and that is a brilliant goal-saving tackle.
Yeah, Prudham biting off more than he could chew, but you've got to do it. You've got to find someone to take the game on when you're down in a hole by 40 points away from home against a top 4 finals bound outfit in Sacred Heart, who put away teams home. 18 goals on 2 occasions this year in big wins here at the middle school against Broadview and Tea Tree Gully. Their only loss at home so far this season has come against Prince Alfred by 13. Understandable. Prince is there, of course, a threat and a big, strong outfit, as well as Glenunga and Port District in that top 4. Held up on the outer wing, umpire Chris Rash, alongside Bo Girdham. In the field, Eli Courtney, Bradley Fallon, boundary, Philip Devlin, Ethan Scarman, your goal umpires. Second half action from Sacred Heart Middle School on Filming Footy. Thanks to programs to fit, winning it nicely at ground level, but over the ball, couldn't pick it up, and Gluyas escorts him out of bounds. Boundary throw in, outer side, 40-point margin, just ticked over 2.5 played.
So both teams just trying to find their feet early doors in this second half. Ball thrown in. Could have been a free kick over the shoulder there in favour of Moore, not Pate. Comes to the ground again. Ooh, slide in tackle. So free kick to Goodwood.
I forgot your name, sorry.
So dishes out the back. It's a clean looking sort of play. Goes towards Cleland. So they've switched out their ruck there. Cleland resting up forward to start off the second half. The umpire's found a free kick at ground level. And could be 25. The remonstrating post decision.
Umpire tells them to get up and get on with it.
Yeah, and well deservedly so. So much needed goal, and that recipient is Connor Fairley. So Fairley will be kicking from about 45 from home. No real angle to speak of, just a slight one. And the former West Adelaide product will need to inject themselves into the game if they're going to get back on to the consideration of this game. And Fairley remonstrates after the goal, and a great start here by the Goodwood Saints. Kicked the first goal of the second half.
Yeah, after a poor first half, Goodwood Saints are just wanting to get back the momentum and try and make a big comeback against Shocks. Good on them.
Special comments with Luke. He'll be joining us in this third quarter to inject a bit of analysis to call. As the Saints just push within the 40-point barrier. Margin cut back to 34. Plenty of time in this one. Connor Fairley moved from defence to forward last week and won our goal of the week in the home win against Broadies last Saturday and puts himself on the scoreboard. The other goal scorer for Goody, Ryan Gray, in that second quarter. Hung on too slightly, umpire does his work again, runs in and takes it out of Heitman's hands. Asks the boys to go to work, they willingly accept it. Crossy getting in hard, Joel Cross, South Adelaide veteran. Pridham chasing after it, Bo McRae right on his tail. Comes away with Anderson. It's a lovely clearance, about 2 or 3 clearances now in a row for Goody. They're moving it nicely, but taken down with the footy. Handball just in time, umpire says play on. Shock's getting on with it. Goody Saints bench absolutely incensed, but they'll be relieved and happy with that square up. Perhaps a free kick deserved merely moments earlier, and one going their way on that occasion. Pridham ragdolled, got his kick away. Umpire said all fair, play on. And coming up to meet a hard tackle, Anderson. Goody have come out of half time and they've upped the pressure, looking to get back in this contest.
So pressure meter's risen significantly from the Goodwood Saints, and so it should do. Ball comes out to Simons, whacks it on his boot quickly, comes towards Colotto, the playing coach. Tell you what, he should be holding the ball here, and the umpire agrees. So the big man couldn't get his big mitt on it to push the ball out. And as we see a lot in this competition, umpire's very quick to give that holding the ball decision. So they've got the switch on. If they go backwards, they go forward. They decide to go down the line. Big rise there from Cleland. Ball comes to ground. Plenty of numbers there for Sacred Heart. And the umpire says we'll call it square, boys.
A real focus, it seems, in this third quarter to get the ball moving as quickly as they can. No real holding it up tactics.
Yeah, they need to move it on straight away, and as they have in that first 5 minutes of this second term. Ball comes out to Pridham, gets onto his crafty little left foot, swings it towards Cleland. I think the big man's taken a chest mark. So beautiful mark. No, it's not Cleland. It's fact Rana, the resting ruckman. So Rana's going to have to, I don't know if he's going to make the distance from there. He's going to kick from every bit of 50.
29 goals in his 33 games so far, and experience at West Adelaide, so he's going to back himself in.
So the big beanpole, can he register Goodwood Saints' second consecutive goal after only registering one in the first half? Deliberate approach, close to the man on the mark, and drifts off to the right-hand side. And on the Sportal scoreboard, 7-6, 48, 2-3, 15, a margin of 35 points. And we're 7 minutes down third term.
Here, thanks to programs to fit, Archies and Sports Interactive, and the kick's been turned over from the defensive kick in. Cardinal sin, Johnson. Eyes are darting, but he's within range. We told you his exploits in the second quarter. We'll remind you of them. Devonport had a season in the VFL with West Coburg and Bendigo, and West Adelaide as recently as last season. Just drifts off for a minor score to add to the Saints tally. So a couple of real gilt-edged opportunities in the last minute going the way of Johnson and Runner. Would have cut the margin to just over 20 points, but as it is, it stands at 32. 7-6, 48, 2-4, 16. Sportal scoreboard, kick in. Far side, and Goody, they've just had the better of these opening 8 minutes. Serene pops up. Haven't called him much today. Must see something he likes, because that kick goes short. Held up, and Mark claimed. Umpire said no, hit the ground. And a floater coming out of it. Carlotto just reading it nicely off the boot. Does that better than anybody else in this competition. Gets it back because they trust his accuracy. But Favretto, captain to captain. Chance to push Goody inside.
So Favretto driving ball inside 50. Looking for some tool timber, comes to ground. Geez, it looks like a high tackle, but umpire says my ball. So the ball spent most of it in the forward half of the Goodwood Saints in this premiership quarter. It's good to see them trying to get some ascendancy their way. So the tap comes out, comes towards Colotto. Meets the ball secondly in the end. And the players are calling for holding the ball. Not much prior opportunity for mine. And we'll have a throw right on the 50-metre arc.
I think some of the Shocks boys saw the elbow go up in offending motion, but no prior.
So 8 minutes down, third term. Ball thrown up, 50-metre arc. Brilliant tap by Noble. Plenty of distance on that one. Kick forward. Looking for an opportunist. Pridham almost gives away the kicking in danger. Strong tackle. Should have been high, and he's played that way. So this is where they really spread the field. Sacred Heart. They do it again. Goes to Noble. Strong mark by the big man. Comes up against the little miniature type Pridham.
You couldn't find more of a mismatch if you tried.
No, you couldn't. So Noble, ever reliable, probably in the team of the year for the Division 1 in the second ruck position thus far. Strong kick down the line, pushed out of the contest. Colotto cuts 4 deep, but a beautiful mark and a timely one. And that one is Cleland.
Tracking Carlotto with every step. Jade Cleland played forward last week. 2 goals, opening moments in that ruck roll this afternoon. He holds it up, and that's not the way to go. Simons drops the mark, uncharacteristic. Falls the way of Heitman. His kick to nobody in particular. Favretto finds himself over the ball, needed to get it out. Umpire was hovering. Luckily for him, it just popped out of his grasp. And a relieved Ryan Dykesman pops up, hands it to Bo Girdham. Umpire throws it up. Goody pressing, but the margin strong, 32 points, and the pressure valve goes pop. McDermott wins a free kick, getting in, putting his body over the footy. Ethan Moore, one of Shock's best. The way they play the game is the fast handball link chain. Example of it there, and then slow it up with an uncontested mark, look for the spare number and get it forward. Shock footy 101. Doesn't quite work on this occasion.
Oh.
Going in hard, winning a high free kick in my eyes.
Geez, that should have been a free kick there to Kerrish on that far side as his legs were taken out, but umpire may have been obscured.
Had a bit of leg contact, had a bit of head contact. Take your pick.
Could have been.
Umpire wanted to test out his arm.
So ball thrown up, left half forward for Sacred Heart. Work there at ground level by Heitman, and the ball goes out of play. So that free kick for the last position out of bounds. They've got that one in board. Still on board, in board there is Kerrish. So looking for something deeper inside 50. So big pack forms there, ball comes to ground. Serene's at the bottom of that pack, comes out, and they should clear from D50. Nothing really at home as they go for a searching ball. One for the front, the fast runners, and it should have been in back, not paid. Kerrish comes out with the ball. Terrific user of the pill. And a great kick lands on the chest of Noble. So Noble's got one on the 45 in the middle there. Beautiful mark. Could he go to Simons? No, he doesn't. Goes in the direction of Lewis. Lewis kicks off the ground. Could have been in danger, but not paid. So they're mucking around with their disposal here. Not as efficient as they were in the first half, but a strong tackle there by McDermott. And the umpire says, I'll throw it up. Boys at true centre half forward for Sacred Heart.
Gee, McDermott could volunteer his time in the emergency services. The jaws of life closed right in. If there was a tackle of the day, that would be a nomination. McAuliffe gives away the free kick, and Cleland once again taken down by a little man. Tackle was always going to go right. Out of side, 2-on-2, even numbers. For the ball, Gray. Sole goal kicker in the second quarter for Goody. Since then, Fairley's added one. Falls to the hands, but nothing doing for a runner. He wasn't quick enough and in the right frame of mind. But ball locked up in the right spot. Forward pocket, 30 around from goal. Another goal here, and the margin cuts to 5. Taken off the hands of the ruckman, but no one winning it in particular. And the pressure's gone up. They just can't quite get the outlet handball, the outlet kick.
So the Bone Crush McRae just sitting on the sidelines. I don't think we've seen him on the field in the second half, which is very interesting to see. So big pack of players, some strong tackling again then by McDermott.
McRae's about to come on and run an absolute muck if the first half is anything to go by.
Taking over the tackler of the week there. So strong punch there by Noble. nothing doing, and we'll have another repeat ball up. So ball stuck in that left forward pocket for Goodwood Saints.
Something to chat to the umpires at half time, and their view is this game's been pretty hard to umpire. All the tackles coming in, and it's been in close.
So beautiful snap on goal. Is it a goal? Pretty happy with it. I think they've scored a goal, maybe kind of fairly. We'll find out the goal scorer very often, but it is Dykesman. So reward for effort for Goodwood Saints, and on the Sportal scoreboard, 7-6-48. Place 3-4-22, a margin of 26 points halfway through this third term.
Yeah, that was some beautiful roving by the Saints. Just went through, got through the pack, and just scored a beautiful banana. Well done by the Saints.
Luke joining us, special comments in this second half. Dykesman, 99th game this afternoon, and adding his 86th goal. And the Saints, well, shocked for making them march out in that first half. They're just starting to march back in the door. Sportal scoreboard shows a 26-point gap. Shocks yet to hit the scoreboard in the goal tally. Net high. First to the footy, winning the free kick. Positive umpiring and positive play from the Saints. A super kick, an incisive ruck, and beautifully read by MacArthur. Back in the team today, coming out to meet it. Saints there in number, but Shock close in. It was a fleeting opportunity to get a clearance and a kick on goal, but not to be. Right end of the ground. Ball goes up, it comes back down. Gravity doing its best work, and speaking of best work, taken out of the contest and one down at ground level by Brinkworth, tapping it to his teammates' advantage. But Gray got it to Scarra, and the kick didn't go 15, and that meant Liam Bennett was right there to close his arms around the opponent. Locked into that forward pocket. 26-point margin, 16 minutes gone. The time has ticked by quickly in this third quarter because the pressure's been up. He put the hand out, don't argue, said Scarra. And when he did that, the possession had to come. It didn't. Holding the ball. Shock to relieve out of full back with a short kick.
So great work there by Sacred Heart just to hold goals, the Goodwood Saints at bay there. So going down the line, goes in direction to Collado. Big man flies, ball comes to the ground to Simons. Not his best kick, he's had a fair bit of the pill, but that's his worst one this afternoon and goes out of bounds on the full. So Goodwood Saints have made every post a winner so far this third term.
It's been all good. He Shocked scoreless in this quarter.
Yes, so 2 goals, 2 this quarter to the Goodwood Saints, and Sacred Heart yet to score, which is amazing after a very polished first half. So Serene, right in front of his coach's box. Got a full view of play. Deep penetrating kick goes in the direction of Anderson. No mark paid. Umpire calls play on. Comes out towards Lauby. He's met harshly and he's gone for holding the ball.
Shock's bench are blowing up at that one.
Bit of an indecisive decision, but it will be a free kick and it goes to that man Rankin.
He got the handball off, but it was just too late according to the umpire.
Yeah, I mean, test his distance from here. So he's gone back with a Dennis Lilly style run up.
Serene's been good this quarter, quiet in the first half, but injecting himself here.
Certainly is. Sorry, Serene. I did get mixed up with Rankin. So Serene enters the tarmac. Deliberate approach, bit of stutter step. Gives it everything.
Ooh.
Does it come back? Does it make the distance? Serene, the supreme. And he's got him back in the game. And I tell you what, they didn't shut the gate here, the Goodwood Saints, because they're back. Look out, Sacred Heart.
Yeah, just on like what Jacko said, Serene's was quiet in the first half, been pretty good now in the third quarter, and Saints are making a good comeback. If they really want to keep on going, they just got to go about 4 more goals and they're good. Good on them.
Luke Pearson, special comments, second half. As he said, the Saints, goodness me, they were just kind of crawling back in with the first couple of goals. They're well and truly marching now. 20-point gap, that is nothing in this modern day footy. Momentum is with them. They've held the Shocks scoreless in this quarter. Another goal or two here. The pressure's going up. They're on top. It's their quarter. They're owning this game so far in this third term. Margin most would have thought was uncomebackable. That's even a word. I think I made that up at half time. But as it stands, they've kicked 3 goals to zip in this third quarter. Carlotto, the coach, the player, he's out there and trying to lead them back, but Heitman having none of it. Strong tackle, taking more to ground. It's a ball up on the near side, just in the about 10 metres into the Goody half. This kick comes out strongly done. Nice clearance. Anderson's been great all afternoon, putting his body on the line once again, getting in there, making it his. Burgess, and a beautiful tackle from Beau McRae on another day. Just turns sour and goes over the shoulder. And the momentum, the luck, call it what you want. Saints are back. Kick goes inside forward 50. Nice strong fist coming. It took it away from Carlotto. Shocks look to repel. Those kicks were going straight to the target in the first half. This time, they're going straight to the opposition. Turnover, kicks back inside forward 50. Ball at ground level. Gee, it's a hard task winning it, but the snap comes on goal! And right back on the last line of defence. The heartbeats are going through the roof on the Shock bench, and Coach Luke Donaldson is about a step away from the playing arena. He can feel it. The Saints fans can feel it. They're back in this game.
I can't believe the umpire didn't call play on because he took an eternity to take that kick. Noble's pushed out of that contest by Cleland. Ball comes to Pridham, gets on his little left foot, takes it inside 50, ball comes to ground. Well picked up there by McRae. I tell you what, he might be done for holding the ball, and he is. Incredible decision by the umpire.
This is the tidal wave, Matt Gay. This is unbelievable.
This has been an outstanding quarter by the Goodwood Saints, and I tell you what, anyone that saw this game at half-time thought this one would have been well and truly over. Put the Monaro on the car park, it was done. But it isn't the case. And the Goodwood Saints, what an amazing turnaround this has been. So, can they put this one through to bring the margin back just to 14 points? What will be the 4th goal, and haven't really been challenged by Sacred Heart in this quarter, Goodwood Saints. It's been a really mismatched second half compared to the first half. Deliberate approach, leans back on the kick, beautiful goal, and she's on like Donkey Kong now.
Johnson.
Absolutely ripping goal there by Johnson, and we're back to a 14-point margin on the Sportal scoreboard. Entering time on 13.
Yeah, just some beautiful play from the Saints. They've just been really dominant within this quarter. Can't say the same for the Shocks. They've just been out of it. Don't know what's going on, but they'll have, after third three-quarter time, they'll have to be asking some questions about their play.
Call it complacency. Call it what you want. They just haven't come out of the sheds. They're still in the change room. Shock. Second half. Nobody saw this coming except perhaps a lovely old lady we met prior to the game who was covered in Goody Saints merchandise. She's made the trek out here. And there's a collection of fans near the Saints bench, and they're the ones up and about, dragged off an obvious free kick. Bronx cheers go up. Shocks fans feel like they've been on the wrong end of the umpiring this afternoon, but they were on the right end of the game in the first half. It's all changed. Inside 50 now, handball quickly. It's at terms, they were on terms, they're behind the game, and they're coming into it once again. Ground level ball to be won. It's hard as tough. And you'd expect nothing more from Bennett there, winning it. Bit of a hand up from teammate MacArthur, getting him back with it. A whistle coming in. It's a boundary throw in. Right in front of us, near wing, 60 out from the shot goal. Boundary umpire throws it in, perfect. The umpiring is going the way of Goody Saints. It often does that when you're first to the footy and you put your head over the ball and you want to win it, and this man has stood up. Carlotto taking much of the ruck chocolates in the first half, but Jay Cleland, with all the experience, he's leading this team now. MacArthur, near wing, snap goes forward, about 60 out. Shocks have good numbers, but it falls to the ball, and the ball doesn't find any hands for the first bit. Handball comes out, taking Dykesman, rides the tackle, bumps and all. Spoiled out, you'd see a deliberate free kick in the AFL, but It's just a pressure releasing spoil from Shocks. They are under the pump.
Good work there by Glyas just to change the momentum here momentarily. So as the name goes, shock. We're all shocked here at the middle school oval at the moment. Ball thrown in, 35 from home for the Goody Saints. Can they get another one on the board? So the pressure meter is going through the roof for the Goodwood Saints, and Sacred Heart just have lost all ascendancy in this game, which is a major surprise for all that have taken the ride down here to the Sacred Heart Oval this afternoon. So ball kicked out of that centre clearance. Sorry, the clearance there. Ball comes to ground. Some great work there by Luders, attacking the ball very well. Some great work there at ground level. Clamps are on. If that's the way the free's been paid, it should have been a free kick there to Kakure, but nothing doing.
The Sacred Heart faithful on the boundary line, and he's going to his pocket here, Matt.
He's given a yellow card for
Sacred Heart player.
For a mouthy,
Just watching it back, it did look like he threw the ball back with a bit too much vigour at the umpire.
Yeah, I thought it might have been for abuse. So an interesting decision. And they're shell-shocked at the moment, Sacred Heart. So ball thrown up. Noble, Cleland, get a third man over the top. Ball comes to ground. Could have been a free kick there. Not paid in favour of the Sacred Heart. We'll have a ball up at right half back.
That card did come for abuse, so he's taken 10 minutes in the send-in. Another cue in the rack for Shock. You don't see that unless the player is really losing a bit of focus and composure. Yellow card handed out. And Goody Saints handing out one hell of a beating in this third quarter. But they're still down. Sportal scoreboard, 14 points. The kick looked to go forward once again to add more pain to the infliction they caused in that third quarter. And one thing I think, Matt Gale, that we're not going to see for the rest of this season, Sacred Heart have been held scoreless in a quarter. Didn't think I'd be sitting here saying that at half-time. Some real question marks over the way Sacred Heart came out in that third term. They own this middle school. They win here by lots. They kick goals for fun. But it was all Goody Saints who turned it into a fortress that quarter. Sportal scoreboard, Sacred Heart 7-6-48, Goody Saints 5-4-34. You can check out all the other matches on Filming Footy, but don't you dare miss the fourth quarter of this one. Saints have got their foot on the accelerator, and Shocks need to find an answer. 14-point margin, three-quarter time. Back with the fourth quarter after this. change it. Let's go again.
Righto, Harold. Bring us back, old son.
You guys ready?
Yep.
And how it's, you can view it again online. I think
Welcome back to the Division 1 Adelaide Footy League. Programs to fit clash between the Goodwood Saints and Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart on the home deck fell asleep in the third term with a scoreless quarter. And after a 40-point margin, Jack, they're only 14 points adrift. And we're looking to come home with a wet sail, I'd say. And they should have got a fair old rocket from coach Alex Collotto, but he was pretty measured with his approach at three-quarter time.
They still have the lead by 14 points. They still back themselves as a quality outfit. Did lose, of course, to Goodwood in round 1 this season, so they match up poorly against them if that results in anything to go by. But at half-time, if you sat here and said that the Saints would cut that lead to just over 2 goals at the next break, I'm not sure many would have agreed. But the Saints have proven they are in for the fight, and they are attacking that 5th spot with vigour. 4th quarter, Matt Gale.
So Rana to do the ruck duties with Noble. Good tack there by Noble. Comes to the ground now. Good tackling again there by Noble at ground level. Ball comes out towards Pridham. Nice little hand pass. Jeez, he picked that up well, Pridham. Ball comes out and a strong tackle there by McDermott, who's been sin bin, and he's come back. So that might have been Lauby, because I think McDermott's still in the sin bin. Probably got another 6 or 7 minutes to serve as a result of his abusive language yellow card. Great there where Kerrish, or is that Morgan? And it is Morgan. So Morgan in his last game for Sacred Heart Old Collegians this season, heading off to Europe. Potentially taking some Ashes coverage.
How's his luck?
Work there by Ferretto. He actually injected himself really well into the game, into that third term. But he's given away the free kick. And Morgan at right half back.
The man you speak of.
So finds the chest of Ned Brooks. So Neddy Brooks, another cult figure type name. Forced to go down the line. Goes to the half forward flank, in fact. Looking for Kuro. Down in the contest. No free kick paid. And he's not real happy with that free kick. Not given his way.
Umpires letting the players decide the result. Letting those little 50-50 contests. Is it a free kick? Is it not? Just go by the wayside.
Tony Simons have a Twitter problem.
He certainly does.
Running over the footy, but couldn't quite pick it up. You've got to be clean in the 4th quarter.
He's your captain.
1.5 minutes gone by. No change to our 3-quarter time Sportal scoreboard. 7-6-48, 5-4-34, 14-point gap. Saints looking to press the button again in the 4th. They pressed it hard and firm in the 3rd. Beautiful fist coming at the back as they were out. Zachary Sanderson. Nice spoil. Then taken over the line in a strong contest. Lovely tackle. Connor Fairley's been good. He's moved forward in the past couple of weeks. Won goal of the week last week. And down there with him is Dykesman and plenty of threats. Jesse Johnson, of course, waiting for it at the fall of the ball with Shocks were good to win that clearance, but they didn't. And Morgan, he went to bounce the ball when it came off his boot. Inadvertently, perhaps should have been a throw-in because he didn't mean the kick. Umpire not in a favourable mood. Just wearing Goody Saints goggles on that occasion. Anderson out to the near side, has one he likes. Scarra. The ball movement is fast. It's been effective in the past quarter and a half. Handball from Bennett's back inside. Scarra's kick smothered. The Shocks fans, they're in small number but large voice. They want holding the ball. Umpire Bo Girdham's not going to indulge them in that peculiarity. Off fans, they've got to win it themselves if they want the 2 points. Shocks heavy favourites heading into this match, and at half-time it looked like how much? Saints have well and truly opened that door back up. 1-on-1 contest, done well, Looters. He's been quality all day, and On his man, McRae busted out of the contest, but flying back like a UFO. Certainly identified as Clayton Simons. Short kick, risking it. Hand in by Scarra at the last second. Those kicks were being hit with regularity in the first half. Pridham bustling off half back and just losing his balance at the last time, but Pridham's run on. Nicely done. At home, Peak takes the mark.
So Rupert Peake switches the play to Simons. Simons has got Kerish on even wider. Comes out to the half-back line. It won't be a mark taken there. It's taken high. And finally, Brinkworth. Sorry, no, it is McDermott. So McDermott back on the field. Beautiful kick. Finds the chest of Rankin. So they need to get their structure back. Rankin given an eternity to get rid of the ball. Eventually kicks down the line looking for Noble. And Colotto gets up high. Can't take the mark.
You'd almost swear there was 2 or 3 Clayton Simons out there, wouldn't you? He had the ball in half back barely 30 seconds earlier.
So the son of Tony really having a presence in this final term. Comes to McRae, the bone crusher. And the bone crusher's taken down. So
I love
repeat ball up.
I love the look of the number 8 for Goody, Liam Bennett's socks up, jersey tucked in.
So Noble gets the tap down. Strong tackling there by McDermott. And we'll have a third ball up in the space of about 45 seconds. So first goal, all important in this clash, and will definitely pave the way for a potential victory for both sides. Smother out of that ruck contest. The pressure meter's up for both sides, all at ground level. Can they clear through Serene? Under immense duress. Down on that boundary line, comes to Simons, and the umpire
On the spot.
calls, I'll throw it in, boys. So close to the action, and we have a boundary throw in at left half forward for Sacred Heart. Up in the contest there is Noble, gets his hands first to the ball, comes to McRae, and has been locked up in a strong tackle.
McRae going from the tackler to the tacklee.
Don't know if there's even a terminology there, Jackson.
Making up my own words this afternoon, aren't I? Add them to the dictionary.
I don't mind it.
Spills towards forward 50. It's just in dispute. Rolled him nicely in the tackle. Goody Saints bench screaming for a free kick. This match delicately poised in a bit of a plateau in the scoring, and the next goal is of crucial importance. Saints, no, they just can't give it up and let the lead balloon back out to 20 points. It could be a mountain too high to climb. On the other hand, Shock thinking that the next goal towards Goodwood, and it might start a run of goals. Just tripped up, hand went around the neck. Umpire decided he either ducked or dipped into the tackle. Ground bathed in glorious sunshine. As the rain has held off, it's been a dry weather day, and both these teams attacking it with vigour. Luke Donaldson on the bench, and the coaching fraternity for Shock directing instructions. Players go after it, and coming out of it, McRae, would you expect anything different? On the boot from Simons. Quick kick, forward 50. They're there in number, arriving nicely at the fall of the ball. Morgan hands out, and I'm not sure that's going to be a friendly encounter with the umpire. Had their ball in possession, put his hands out. When you do that, I mean, make an attempt, young man. McAuliffe it was, and the easiest holding the ball call you'll ever see.
So Simons tries to intercept that mark, but a strong mark there taken by Serene. A switch on. Goes to Anderson. Anderson comes down our broadcast side. No mark taken. Ball comes to ground. And umpire says my ball. So we are almost 8 minutes into this final term. Neither side yet to score. Strong tap there by Noble. Some great work. Should have been a high tackle and paid. So kick there by McDermott. McDermott goes wide, no mark taken. We really need to take that, and it's a strong tackle, and unfortunately, Kuro's given away the free kick. Hasn't had his best day on this afternoon, but
I was going to say he's been well held, only a goal, and that came early in the first.
He could bob up when the The stakes rise as we get a little bit closer to siren time. Seb Kerish with the mark of the day. Brought to you by Bianco. So well done to Kerish. And he should get 50. So can this break open the floodgates?
He's averaged 22 touches this year, Kerish, and hasn't popped up much, but gee, when they need their key players to stand up, there's an example.
So Kerish at left half forward. Beautiful kick. Goes towards Collado. Can't take the mark. At ground level, Simons. Snaps it on his left.
Don't tell me!
He's golden! The middle school erupts. And I'll tell you what a captain's goal.
The Saints players claim it was touched. Umpires just...
And I'll tell you what, the son of Tony
They've awarded the
has
goal.
slotted through an absolute rip snorter. So on the Sportal scoreboard, 8-6-54 and a much needed goal. And they're first for the second half of Sacred Heart, 5-4-34.
I hate
Back
to break
at
it.
20-point match.
Break it to the Saints players. No score review in this league, unfortunately. Goal stands.
What a goal. Just crazy amounts of pressure from Saints, but Shocks just got it through and they got the goal. What a goal from Shocks. One goal to them. Good Saints, none.
And believe it or not, Simons with the last 2 goals in this match for Shock. He kicked one at the end of the second quarter, goalless in the third, and he popped up again when they really need it. That's definitely a Bianco goal of the week. If that's not on the top 3, then I'll go he. Beautifully done by Simons, just sums it up beautifully. Need a bit of luck in those situations, got it. Margin 20, does that break the back of the Saints? We'll find out. They're still looking to attack it. Anderson coming in nicely and meeting it at ground level. Fairly comes up. That's a real backbreaker for the Saints. They've toiled nicely, but they left a lot to do with a margin of 40 points at half time. Couldn't quite get themselves over the hump. Lead stood at 14 for the opening 8 minutes of this quarter. Shock structure behind the ball, not letting them through. McRae, tackler extraordinaire, handles this occasion, kicks straight into the face. The crowd, umpire stops, teases the crowd, and then crosses his chest and says, "My ball." Throws it up, and they go to work again. McRae over the footy, slightly in the back, but umpire decides to play it on. Perhaps feeling a bit sorry for Goody Saints after about 10 of their players crowded him for that last goal, swearing it was touched off the boot. Nothing doing. Umpire switches sides, backs out to the middle of the ground, and players switching up the pressure. And finally a free kick going the way of Sacred Heart. Crowd not too responsive to that call. Slow to get to his feet and just riding him over the top. Rankin has it, loads it up inside forward 50. Goal here would end it at a big mark. He went up. He stuck the 2 jukes in the air like he had super glue on those mitts. And when the big players stand up, you know your team's in good hands. They've needed it this quarter. They've been really challenged. Strong mark at half-back from Seb Kerish. And the coach himself, Kai Lotto, wrapped the ball in his hands. But can't quite finish off the Saints. They stay alive. Sportal scoreboard 8-7-55. Goodwood Saints 5-4-34. A 21-point gap. If they're going to win this game, the Saints need to go and go now.
So Carter to do the kicking duties. Plays on. There's pressure on him straight away. Kicks out towards the broadcast side. Simons again with a Bianco contender for the mark of the week. And he's had a fair bit of this pill this afternoon. Beautiful kick inside 50. Yeah, Kakiro will line up for goal number 2. He's been kept relatively quiet. And as we said, he'll bob up when it's needed.
Some of the names, Kerish, Kailotto, Kakiro, they're senior players making a statement.
So Kakiro enters the tarmac. Beautiful looking kick. Will it hold on? Will it drift? He slotted it. You'd have to say they have shut the gate. So Sacred Heart breakaway again. 9-7-61. 5-4-34. healthy 27-point margin midway through this final term.
And just after a great third quarter from the Saints, they've just dropped off again, just like in the first and second quarter. They just can't seem to be off their feet and just keep on going. Good job from the Shocks to underline their pressure, and great job.
Luke Pearson, special comments, joining us in this second half. Sacred Heart Middle School, a ground now bathed in sunshine. And the sun's shining on Shock. They would challenge in the third quarter. They've sent the shockwave through the Goody Saints in this fourth. And no answers from the boys in red, yellow, black and white. And they get a reprieve. The advantage page. Shock stopped. Goody didn't. Fist coming out. Beautifully done. And nice by Sanderson. Umpire gets involved. Free kick going the way of Dewhurst in the back pocket. Short option, elects to take it. Kerish. Holds it up, wastes about 30 seconds. It's real intelligent and finds a target. So in that passage of play, another minute comes off the clock. They maintain possession. It is McAuliffe. Spent time at Glenelg under 18s in 2020. 60 goals in his 47 senior games. Has it off half back. In the air, nice contest. At ground level, Anderson goes in, taking without it Burgess. Umpire says play on. MacArthur met solidly in a beautiful tackle from McAuliffe. And now the ball's in dispute and the chase is on. Fox and Noble coming out to meet it. Carter puts pressure on. The Shepherd is well done. Dewhurst. Oh, he fought over it with his teammate. And the player needs to speak to his teammate there and says my ball, because they both got hands in the footy. He was tackled. Ball up, half back flank.
So Goodwood Saints at centre half forward there. Ball comes out the back to Kerish. Delivers a bit of a hospital ball back towards the contest. Comes out to Anderson. Quickly whacks it on his boot inside 50. No mark taken. Ball comes to ground. Good work there at the back by Simons. His kick smothered. Goes towards Glyrus. Haven't heard his name called too much this afternoon. Comes to the coach Colotto. And they'll come out through McDermott. So McDermott at left half back. He's been industrial-like in this last term. Goes inboard and finds the chest of Dewhurst. So Dewhurst probably should have been paid that previous mark, but it was off his teammate's hands. Goes long down the line looking for the coach Colotto. And again, the big man steps up when it needs to be done.
That's a picture. It's an absolute artwork.
So he's got the long-ranging arms. And the big man played a pinch-hitting role in the final phase of his SANFL career in the ruck. So he goes short, not his best kick this afternoon. Lands on the chest there of Ethan Moore. So Ethan Moore plays on quickly, had a brilliant first half, Ethan Moore. Umpires found a free kick. There will be a push, and this will be the nail in the coffin for Sacred Heart.
Kakiro presenting well, and front on contact just going back, arriving a millisecond late. Carlotto, not much is made about his work rate. He covers the ground better than most big men you'll see in footy. Pops up at half back and then pops up on the wing. Just puts himself in the spots.
So Joel Cross, nice looking block kick, just makes the distance over the pack. And Cross gets his name on the scorebook. And the two-time McGarry medalist. Been pretty quiet this afternoon, but bobs up when it's needed to put the nail in the coffin.
Spent time in Western District in Kangaroo Island last year, and well, with a skip, jump and up. Shocks are out of sight.
Yeah, Sacred Heart, just keep on going. They just can't be stopped now. Saints are going to be asking a lot of questions about tonight's game, and hopefully they'll be back in next week's game.
Take a look at the next five for both sides. Lukey Pearson there on special comments on this Filming Footy broadcast. All Division 1 matches, of course, streamed live and on demand. Filming Footy YouTube. Check them all out. We'll bring you scores from around the grounds at the conclusion of this match. And as I mentioned, take a look to next week. We'll suss that now for Goodwood. A trip back home to face Prince Alfred. So a real challenging match. And Shocks take on Broadview at their home ground. So a tough game for both sides. Coming out to meet it, nicely done. Spoil came in. The Shocks fans are happy with that. Attacking the footy, a real intercept possession. He picks himself up, Seb Kerish, and he dusts himself off. And Ethan Moore at the bottom of that pack, doing his finest work, being in the top 3, no doubt, for Shocks this afternoon. Coming through, Bo McRae, once again, called his name on repeat. And my man who's putting his name up, he must need a brand new pair of thongs, Clayton Simons. He's been everywhere, a couple of goals to his name. Wrestle in the ruck contest, ended up playing a bit of leapfrog there, dear Bradley Noble. But he won it down. The umpire decides you dove on that footy and holding the ball was the call. And the Saints, well, they've marched out. Cross, all his experience, gets up, knows his player was on the ground still, and he takes a quick handball towards goal, but it spoilt nicely. And coming back to meet it and picking it up with the one hand, just collects it and he stays in bounds. Ball comes out. Goodwood now. Clayton Simons there again. Umpire's blowing the whistle early, and a free kick going the way of the Saints.
So MacArthur, right half back. Gets his kick down the line, looking for some tall timber. No mark taken. Good work there by Pete to push that one out of bounds. Didn't quite make it out of bounds, in fact. So the ball's kicked inside 50. Running with the back of the ball is Gray, who was the opening goal kicker. Should receive a free kick and does. So played that well. Good forward craft there by Gray. Difficult angle to kick a goal. And I think he had a shot on the side at half time. And that one faded.
Been named in the best players 116 times in his 211 game career.
So he kicks inboard and finds Heitman, who is in a better angle, similar sort of distance, if not a little bit further out. So he's going to have to kick into a slight breeze. The gust has definitely calmed right down after half time when the sun came out. So the man on the mark's got a couple of metres. He's going to get close to him. Deliberate approach. Don't think he's going to make the distance. Lands at the top of the square. Kerish goes up. And ball will be able to play. And it's hit the behind post. No, it's gone through for a minor score.
So more on those next few fixtures. As I mentioned, Prince Alfred next week for Goody after that. At Brighton. At home against Tea Tree Gully. At Glenunga. And at home against Spock. They would back themselves to win 3 of those 5 if they are in contention really for that 5th spot. And Shocks look to keep the momentum going. A trip away to Broadview, as I mentioned. Then a real match of the round clash with Port District after that before an easy kill, some would say, against Old Ignatians. Prince Alfred and Brighton to follow. So a real winnable few in that. He's gone to ground easily and throwing the head back. Umpire wise to it. He wants to sign off with a goal, does Morgan, before he departs. Umpire not falling for the trick on that occasion. And a repeat stoppage inside forward 50. So Shocks have kicked away after being challenged. 40 points at half time. They brought it back to 14 at 3/4 time. Goalless now in this quarter, Goody, and Shocks have piled on 3. Getting busy. But it's going to come the way of the Saints once again as they move it towards their forward half of the ground. There's nobody home. Within 100 metres of goals, the foot race is on. Still gift style at Sacred Heart Middle School. Dives on the footy, but it comes out behind him. And once again, they've got men in the right places. Gluyas. Just over the head of his intended target, Noble. But he butters up nicely and lays a beautifully strong tackle. Of course, thanks to our sponsors, Archie's, player of the game. Pair of beautiful thongs and a dartfish beanie. I think I know who I'd give it to, but Matt Gale and I will confer and we'll bring you the official ruling after the full-time siren. Nicely done, Johnson. Got himself out of trouble. MacArthur sticks the jukes up. Couldn't bring it back. But the forward pressure is nice. The tackle is well laid. As I mentioned earlier, regained his spot in the side this week, and with defensive efforts like that inside 50, he's not going to lose it anytime soon.
So can Goodwood Saints put a bit of pride on the scoreboard and finish this one off? We're 23 minutes down on this final term, and it's been all Sacred Heart in the final term. Ball comes out, nice tackling on that far side, and the sting's definitely been taken out of this one. So the Bone Crusher's throwing his weight around. As he does, the instigator. Ball thrown in. Cleland up against Noble. Nice tap there by Cleland. Gets it out the back. Kerish off the ground. Nothing doing for him. Good work there at ground level. Again, Kerish gets his hands on the pill. Good work by Simons with a clearing D50 kick. 2 on 1. Comes to ground, some strong tackling again there. So they've definitely lifted their work rate in this second half. Comes to Morgan. Morgan dishes off. High tackle not paid and actually scooped through. Stolen in basketball terms, goes to Serene. Serene gets the switch out. Got a player on here in Anderson. So back to Serene. 1-on-3 contest. Good work there by Burgess. And there's the final siren. And on the scoreboard, Sacred Heart 10-7, 67. Ran out convincing winners in the end. 5-5, 35, 32-point margin. And that's probably where it all ended up. And we will go with the roll of the dice. Media award of the Player of the Year, who gets a 5% share in a horse valued at $7,500. That horse is currently in training. You'd have to say Clayton Simons, clearly the best man on the ground and thoroughly deserving of the Dartfish Boonie and the Archie Thongs there, Jack Moore.
Couple of goals in the day, and he popped up in all the right spots. Of course, Colotto was close. Karkuro with a goal early was well held. So one of the players who put his hand up and led his team back when they were definitely challenged. I mean, 3/4 time we thought, gee, this game is right on after Shocks kicked away in that first half. Needed their senior players to stand up, and along with Seb Kerish, along with Colotto, as I mentioned, Morgan was quiet, and McRae was his bone-crushing best, as you were calling all day, Matty Gale, around the contest. But it mattered the most. Clayton Simons kicked that goal, which really put an end to any Goody Saints charge. A really worthy winner of that player of the game. He'll win, as you said, the Dartfish Beanie and the thongs from our match day sponsor in Archie's.
And obviously the roll of dice 3-2-1 will be officially announced on the Footy Show, which you can tune into, I think, from Tuesday night from memory, as Tony Neal and Indy Rogers bring you all the action. But a fantastic day here. We've had the Melbourne type weather, but thankfully we'll go to some scores around the ground with our Jackson Moore.
Indeed, before we wrap up and leave you from Sacred Heart Middle School this afternoon, we'll check out some scores from around the ground. And as I say that, the team's just shaking hands in the middle of the ground, which is something that we love to see. A margin of 32 points here at Sacred Heart Middle School as we look to the other concluder results in round 11 this afternoon. It was a comprehensive win in the end for Tea Tree Gully as they took care of Old Ignatians by 84 points. Prince Alfred kicked away from St. Peter's to win that one in the end. Bryden is going down by 20 points at home to Glenunga, and Broadview challenged Port District early, but down by 20 points to Port late stages fourth quarter. And of course here it was Shocks 10-7, 67, Goody Saints 5-5, 35. Before we wrap up, a big thank you to all our match day sponsors, which includes the Adelaide Footy League, Buddy Bet, Sport of our scoreboard sponsors, Dartfish, Archie's, Farmers Leap Winery at Padtha Way, Roll the Dice, Thirsty Camel Goal of the Week, Bianco Mark of the Week. And thanks to Filming Footy and Sports Interactive, I've been joined by Matt Gale. I'm Jack Moore. Special comments in the second half by Luke Pearson. Hope you've enjoyed all the coverage. Matches live on demand anytime on the Filming Footy YouTube page. Do check it out. We'll see you same place, same time next week on the Adelaide Footy League live on Filming Footy.